Hey, it's Nikki.
And it's Brie.
And we're
Late to the Party,
a podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shaped us into the weirdos that we are. And today, we're a bitch. We're a lover. We're a child. We're a mother. We're a sinner.
We're a saint.
And we do not feel ashamed.
No.
Today, we're talking about Lilith Fair.
Yeah. I've been so excited for this episode, by the way.
Same. It's been on the books forever.
It has.
Because if we're talking about, personally for me, things that shaped me into the weirdo that I am, it's Lilith Fair ladies. The women of the 90s.
Amen.
Really shaped me. And I feel like there's been so much talk about music festivals lately. I mean, a couple years ago, the Woodstock 99 documentaries came out. You know, everyone's always talking about Coachella every year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, even Ozfest. Like, people talk Fire Festival. Everyone talks about these music festivals.
Fire Festival.
Lollapalooza happens every year. And even though it only spanned 3 years in the late 90s, the Lilith Fair was seminal. Not to bring seminal is such a weird word. But yeah, it was very influential, and we don't give it enough flowers.
I agree. And you know, as far as like festivals go, like music festivals, I don't think I've ever wanted to really, like, I think the idea of music festivals always like sounds fun, you know, except after a while you're like, oh, it's just like you're in the mud, like people are sloppy. Like, do you really want to be there for like, I don't know. Like when I think of Lollapalooza, but Lilith Fair, I feel like I would go all in on Lilith Fair. Like, I really want to go, if I could only go to like one music festival ever, and if I had a time machine as well, that's what I want to do. Like, we talk about going back to the 90s.
Yes.
I would want to use my time machine to go to Lilith Fair.
That's a time machine used wisely. I would too. Lilith Fair 1997. The vibes just seemed right.
Yeah, the first Lilith Fair.
I agree. No, I would love to. You know, we were talking about this off mic, but I truly believe, like, when people are like, oh, I was born in the wrong generation, or if I'm from the wrong time, like, I believe that I was supposed to be a woman in the 90s.
Me too. Like a woman.
Yes.
A full woman. Not a baby.
Not a baby, but a woman.
It's unfair.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But
I was supposed to, wait, did they didn't burn bras in the 90s.
No.
That was before then, wasn't it?
They didn't wear bras.
They just didn't wear them. Yeah. I mean, I don't now, but it meant something back then.
Totally. Well, and I think the coolest thing about Lilith Fair and the women of the 90s that we, you know and love and that we think of, I think the thing that makes that time period so cool and Lilith Fair so unique is that the women, like these artists, were just in their femininity. Like, they weren't doing it for the male gaze because, you know, I think we are always doing something for the male gaze, even if we don't want it to. There's like some weird connotations. Like, these women were so progressive in that way that, like, they were like, oh, I'm not going to wear a bra because I don't want to. I'm not going to shave my arm because I don't want to. And it's, you know, it like means something when it's not contrived. It's not like thought about. It's not like, oh, I'm going to not wear a bra in a 90s way. It's like, I'm not going to wear a bra because I like this look, you know?
Yeah. No, I vibe with it. I vibe with the idea of, well, just being in the 90s. And like, there's so much great music and so many talented like female musicians. And I think I would have just died. Like, if I went to Lilith Fair, you know, and just saw like Jewel up there, or like the Cranberries,
or even Sarah McLachlan. I can get down to some Sarah McLachlan.
I feel like live she would be really good, or just like it would hit different.
Her voice. Have you seen the video? I think it's 98, but live of Sarah McLachlan and the Indigo Girls, and just all of them on stage together.
I have not.
Those harmonies. I believe Jewel's on the stage as well.
Oh my god!
But just like Sarah McLachlan, people we only think of her nowadays as the arms of an angel, like
the arms of an angel,
like donate to like dying dogs.
Yeah,
but she has bops, like banger after banger.
She does,
but also the best voice.
It's
like,
beautiful.
The way she hits those high notes, it's really rare. What is your relationship with Lilith Fair type music?
Okay, well, I would say like a lot of the music at Lilith Fair, I feel like I've just been exposed just in general, like on the radio, like growing up in general, but also like there's a lot of songs I still hear today. Like for example, Dreams by the Cranberries is playing at like where I work at the coffee shop all the time. And
the resurgence of the Cranberries.
There is
should
a
be
Cranberry.
studies.
There's a resurgence, isn't there?
Her and like Maisie Starr.
Yes. What is that? I mean, I'm happy. I'm here for it.
I think we all kind of want to be in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like secretly, there's just something so romantic.
Yeah.
And like idealized about the 90s.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like Sixpence None the Richer.
Mm-hmm.
I think of that song, Kiss Me. That's a magical song.
So you remember it growing up?
Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of these like female artists that were just around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think of like Tracy Chapman, like Fast Car. I feel like I grew up listening to that song, and that song had a resurgence semi-recently. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like these ladies raised me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Natalie Merchant, Dido. But I feel like there's like so many.
Well, it definitely Lilith Fair defines a certain type of artist in the 90s. It definitely conjures up all the people you said.
Yeah. Yeah, like what would that be? Like I mean, I don't know. Would you say indie or like more like eclectic maybe? Like
definitely a lot of the artists that were on Lilith Fair are pop for sure, but they're a little more singer-songwriter. They're, they have those like tendencies, or even, the more hip hop artist. It was like neo soul was featured at Lilith Fair. There was an eclectic mix, but I feel like whatever it was like the best of the genre to represent it. Also, these females just kind of buying into this whole vision of Lilith Fair and what Lilith is.
Right. You mean like the name Lilith?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The name. Well, so Lilith Fair was co-founded by Sarah McLachlan of Arms of an Angel fame.
Yeah.
But the origins were that in the mid 90s, she wanted Paula Cole to be her opening act.
Yeah.
Which what I didn't realize was most artists do pick their opening acts. But she got a lot of pushback because having more than one woman as the performer was like box office poison.
That's crazy.
Like they're like, you need to have a male to balance it out. You can't have a all like female lineup.
Dude, that's so wild because like nowadays, like that's like, of course, it's like you think about like Taylor Swift or whoever, like there's like, usually if there's a female artist, there's another female opener.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but like, it's not like, that's just so weird to think that they were like gatekeeping that.
100%. The crazier part is the 90s, arguably the biggest time for female artists. Like female artists were all over the top 40. But there was still that idea that it couldn't just be an all women lineup. So Sarah McLachlan and a bunch of other partners, they came up with the idea of Lilith Fair, just an all female music festival.
Love this idea.
Definitely. And it was cool because like it had women of all different genres, and because of the success, it really did prove to everyone that females can sell just as well as the males, and you could have it did pave the way for like a Taylor Swift to have both like a Gracie Abrams or a Paramore, Sabrina Carpenter,
right,
with no men on the ticket. But I feel like after the 90s, we really forgot about that.
Yeah, did we go backwards for a bit? Like, what is going on? Because, I mean, I know we're just getting into it, but like, I know like Lilith Fair, there's like 97, 98, 99, right? And then it stops.
Yeah. And then there was a revival in 2010, but it was a flop.
Yeah.
It just was a couple years too early, I think.
That's what I think too. I think we need a revival now.
100%.
I think it would hit perfect.
I think so, because to your point, so my relationship with Lilith Fair, or like the Lilith Fair type of music, I know that's kind of, whatever to say.
It's hard to put it into words.
Yeah, but just everything you conjure up when you hear Lilith Fair, when you think of like Elisa Loeb or
Lisa
Natalie
Loeb.
Merchant. I just grew up listening to that music. To me, it's mom music, but in the best way.
Yes.
Like always in the car growing up. And then, growing up in the 2000s and, being a teenager in the 2010s, I feel like we were in such a weird time in music.
We were.
Because when I was a teenager, I got reintroduced to this type of music, like the Lilith Fair. Fiona Apple just spoke to me as a teenager so deeply. Or like, I just went down a rabbit hole of like women in the 90s. And it was the one thing, like, I still can't hear either Adia or Building a Mystery by Sarah McLachlan without just like being like, I have to scream this at the top of my lungs. Like, this is the best. Or like, Natalie Merchant, Tiger Lily, like really soothed me as a teenager. I like rediscovered it all.
I was going to say, I went through a Natalie Merchant phase, like, some years ago, and just, I don't know, it just hit different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it was, but something about that type of music, especially Fiona Apple's Title, for me is such like an influential album to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, I felt like seen by all these women. But, it was like 15 years after.
Right.
The fact, but this idea of like having an all-female, festival where they all unified and they were all just singing with each other and touring with each other, and
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it was rare because growing up, like, I think because of the time period that we were a teenager in, it did seem like we went so backwards. Like there was such like a misogynistic tone.
Yeah.
To like 2010s music where, we had a Kesha, but Kesha wasn't Kesha like she is now. Mm-hmm. She was, with like 303.
Do you want to listen to Blurred Lines?
Yeah, it was like that. Or like Beyonce is so amazing, but I do feel like the self-titled album, as amazing and as great as it was, it gave people like this weird idea that like feminism was all about the male gaze. I think people, like the society really took a lot of that like Beyonce feminism and made it like very weird. And it's not Beyonce's fault or her art at all. And I mean, even now it's like, we're supposed to be all for female empowerment.
Right.
But we're always constantly comparing, and I do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't really got past that, I guess. But it like at Lilith Fair, it seems like everything was perfect with the world. Or like there wasn't any of that competitive, or they're trying to like cut that down because the industry was trying to be like pit women against each other, which seems really silly.
But it was like an act of defiance, which made it really cool. Like even though it was corporate and some artists like a Tori Amos or an Ani DeFranco or even Joni Mitchell didn't vibe, like still seeing like even when Joni Mitchell did not fuck with Lilith Fair, and Jewel and all of them came out to sing Big Yellow Taxi, it's like it's almost an punk rock to be like, we're not going to fall for this.
Yeah.
We know you're one of like the founding women. We still respect you. Even though you're not with us right now, we're with you.
We're with you. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Because there were some women who were not even feeling like Lilith Fair. They're like, I don't know. What are we going to sip tea? Or I don't know. It was kind of misogynistic too. Like, because women 100%. Can be misogynistic.
Internalized misogyny is so real. But you know what I think is like a good like sniff test?
What?
Okay. If Courtney Love is on board with you, then it's good. Because I think even despite what you say about Courtney Love, I know she's very problematic.
Yeah.
And sometimes she has a weird take, but she's never wrong. Like her intuition is very strong.
That's a good point. I don't know. I low-key love Courtney Love. Like ever since I heard her on Mark Maron, like listened to that whole interview.
What a queen. She was pro Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
So that's that for me.
That's on that.
Yeah. Oh, but back to the origin of the name Lilith Fair.
Oh yeah. That's right. The name Lilith.
Yeah. So in Jewish mythology, Adam, his first wife was named Lilith. And she basically got ousted because she refused to not be treated equally and left. And
good.
I think that is really rad.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And to have a fair with, it really did, like, just looking at old videos and clips and hearing like the oral history and listening to the music, it does feel like the big theme is like what Lilith represents, which, like, I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I understand that. Like, growing up, I was always like, oh my God, Mom, why are you listening to this Lilith Fair music? Or like, why are you reading for the 100th time Women Who Run with Wolves? And now I'm like, do I need to read Women Who Run with Wolves?
I mean, I've never read it. I probably should.
But I really like resonate with that. And, you know, it's funny because it's only been since I've gotten a little older that I've been like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things in life and in society where I think as like women, we don't think about ourselves enough.
I agree. And there's the weird like rise of trad wives as well. And I feel like, I don't know, it's such a weird time right now, I feel.
It definitely is. That's why we need a Lilith Fair revival.
We do. Well, I feel like we're on the cusp of one. Maybe, I am hoping maybe Sarah McLachlan will bring it back, you know, because yes, she tried to do it in 2010, didn't work. But what if now with like Charlie XCX, Billie Eilish, you know, they just released that song Guess.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with Guess.
I love it. I just feel like they would be perfect at a Lilith Fair concert.
Who's your dream Lilith Fair lineup? Like if they were to do a revival of it.
Well, definitely Billie Eilish, Charlie XCX. I'd want them to perform Guess. And I'd want there to be like underwear like falling from the stage, you know, like just like they just do a big underwear drop at the end.
You know what's really in Lilith Fair fashion? So what was really badass about Lilith Fair during the time is they donated a lot to Planned Parenthood. You know, they were very like pro-choice. The booths at Lilith Fair were very pro-choice, and they had Planned Parenthood booths. And Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish donated in that guest music video the underwear to domestic violence survivors.
That's right. See, that's what we need. That is that same spirit.
It is. Or like Olivia Rodrigo is a great example of, you know, there's a lot of young people that go, and like a lot of teenagers and younger that go to the Guts World Tour.
Yeah.
But she hasn't backed down because she, you know, has all the stuff with Planned Parenthood. But yeah, so Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish would be on your lineup.
Definitely. Chappell Roan, of course. Julia Fox. We've talked about this off mic, but Julia Fox, I want her to perform Down the Drain.
I love that. She'd be a great like MC.
I think she'd be perfect. Sabrina Carpenter, Maya Hawke. I did put Olivia Rodrigo on there as well. Ethel Cain, Miss Poopy.
Who's that?
Ice Spice.
Oh. Oh my.
Who is that? Come on, Nick.
Sorry.
You know Miss Poopy.
Miss Poopy herself, Ice Spice.
Yeah, I just want her to come drop some bars. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Just spice it up a little.
I like it.
Lana Del Rey.
She'd be perfect.
Right. Rihanna. She did the Super Bowl not too long ago. Can't she stop by the Lilith Fair 2024? Dolly Parton. Miley Cyrus. OK Kaya. Suki Waterhouse. Clairo. Coco and Claire. Boy Genius. Tegan and Sarah. Erykah Badu. Sarah McLachlan. The Cardigans. Sixpence None the Richer. I mean, maybe Natalie Merchant. I don't know.
It's very eclectic.
I want to bring back some of the original peeps if possible.
I think you have to incorporate some of the new with the old.
How about you? What is your dream lineup?
So my dream lineup, Sarah McLachlan, obviously. She has to be there. The headliner, Chappell Roan.
Yes.
Boy Genius. Mitski. Muna.
Yes.
Olivia Rodrigo. Gracie Abrams. Fiona Apple. Charlie XCX. I'd love a Remy Wolf.
Ooh, yes.
Solange.
Ooh.
Kim Gordon. Erykah Badu. Brandi Carlile. Haim. Ethel Cain. And Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh! Like to close out the show?
And Paramore. I throw them in the mix too.
Yeah.
After seeing clips of Paramore on the Eras tour, it just ignited something in me that again with the Getting Their Flowers, I think.
Yeah.
Paramore and Hayley Williams really.
And I've always stand,
and it blows my mind that some people are not familiar with them like that, but Hayley Williams really did pave the way for that type of genre and that type of, female fronted emo pop rock band in that way.
100%.
I want to see Boy Genius.
Yeah.
But I also want sets from Lucy Dacus, Julian Baker, and Phoebe Bridgers, respectively.
Okay, yeah.
I'm selfish like that.
Phoebe
Throw
Bridgers.
in Japanese breakfast, too. I'd love a little Japanese breakfast.
Japanese breakfast.
Yeah. And they all have to sing Closer to Fine with the Indigo Girls.
Yes. The Indigo Girls have to be there.
Which they were the glue for the OG Lilith Fair.
Mm.
They were the ones who were really branching out and being like, we should sing with the other artists and not keep to ourselves.
I love that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I love your lineup, Nick.
Thank you.
I would 100% go to see that Lilith Fair.
Likewise. We do have the same.
We have a lot of overlap.
artists.
I know.
But yeah, I that's what I love looking at old videos of Lilith Fair. It was such a diverse range of people, and it broke out new artists. Missy Elliott.
Oh my God.
Was there in 1998 with her Garbage Bag singing The Rain.
So cool. I don't know what I would do. Seeing her sing The Rain, live.
Which I'd love to see her at a revival of Lilith Fair. She's headlining her first tour this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we gotta go.
It took this long though. That's insane.
Wait, for her to have a tour?
You know who we're missing from our lineups?
Who?
SZA.
You're right.
SZA's the perfect Lilith Fair. And then she can sing her amazing cover of Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer.
Wait, she has a cover of Kiss Me?
Oh my God, it's so good. She's perfect to sing that song. Oh, and also Drew Barrymore. She could sing Drew Barrymore into her cover of Kiss Me.
For a second, I thought you were saying Drew Barrymore. I'm like, wait, she's singing?
Well, I'd love that too. But no, the song Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, the song. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I know. I feel like there probably are more that we're missing on these lists, but.
Definitely. Well, I know I have blind spots too. Country artists, I'm not super familiar with.
Oh, wait. Well, never mind. I said Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton. That's as country as I'm
Casey Musgraves.
Casey Musgraves.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't say King Princess.
Well, yeah. Well, I thought of it, but then I was I got distracted on this list and I went down a different rabbit hole,
You were big names.
Big names. Yeah, I don't know if that's the opposite. Well, some of these are not as big, but maybe they are. I don't know. These are all big names, aren't they? Wow.
But I like it. I mean, Lilith Fair was very corporate in a lot of ways.
Yeah. But I want to get the smaller names in there too. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing, if you did bring back Lilith Fair, not to treat this as it's a big project that we're actually
I don't think I have the resources or the power, but
but some people would come in. Tracy Chapman didn't stay throughout the whole tour. She came in for a couple dates.
Yeah.
So
something like that could work. Sure.
Yeah. I think on the 97 tour or 98, I don't remember which one, but Sarah McLachlan and Suzanne Vega were the only people that were mainstays. Everything else was floating.
Mm.
But did you read the oral history from Vanity Fair on Lilith Fair?
Yes.
So good. So good at just painting the picture.
Yes. I love hearing all the different perspectives from the performers or just the the crew. And it's crazy to me. Just a lot of the things that they experienced or the massage, just being oh yeah, we were told even on the radio they didn't want to play two female artists back to back. There's so many things that I was just that's so weird.
Or one of the artists getting congratulated because they were going to get played this week or this day versus another artist. It sets up this no wonder we're having trickle down effects of this internalized misogyny.
Yeah.
It's because you're oh, even a compliment is to tear another female down.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting too. Even in a granular way, the Indigo Girls talking about how there was only room for one queer artist or one gay artist.
Yeah.
And it was always going to be Melissa Etheridge.
Melissa Etheridge. That's funny.
She just like broke through. She was like the Ellen of adult contemporary. She was like the one gay woman that was just like,
yeah.
But that's crazy to think. And now we're like supplied with all the goods, especially when it comes to queer artists.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty.
There's
Which I don't know.
so
Maybe
many.
I have blind spots, as you called me out. I mean, King Princess for sure. I think she would be on my lineup. I think it's in my mind. I've seen her live. I think I'm just being selfish with my list, and I'm like, people who I have not seen.
You want to throw them on Lilith?
My personal, yeah. I need to think of the greater good, though.
No, I mean, you don't have to. That's but no, it's so funny just to think about like what I thought was really interesting. I listened to a behind the music
Ooh.
on Lilith Fair, and I believe Lisa Loeb, maybe Sarah McLachlan, but she was talking about it was Sarah McLachlan. She didn't realize the misogyny or like the sexism at play because she wasn't like, she was still climbing in the ranks. Like she was still gaining momentum.
Right.
And she like thought for the longest time, like, oh, everyone's not as sexist as they say, whatever. But then when she got very successful and hit that wall, that's when she started realizing that sexism exists. And a lot of female artists felt the same way. And just like that not blew my mind. It like opened a door for me where I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like no one ever like, it's so easy to say like sexism doesn't exist or like we're in a different time.
Yeah.
Until
it happens.
You're playing with the big boys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are some things that still happen like that, like, and I'm sure there's some scenarios, but it's crazy that it was even like at that time, like in the 90s. Cause in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's such a free time for everyone. Well, it's not 100%, but just.
And the ladies in the 90s unprecedentedly were making bank.
Yeah.
So but the fact that it took Sarah McLachlan and all these founders, just to prove a point. It was a very cool, like, stick it to the man situation.
I mean, what a time to be alive.
Yeah. But, like, we're still facing it. I don't think we've learned anything from it. It's just this nice, like, pocket of time where it's like, we know it's possible.
You don't think we've learned from it?
No. I mean, well, okay. Talk about, not to get too serious, why do you think we haven't had a female president?
Okay. Yeah. This does bother me. Yeah.
It's not because we haven't,
we don't want, well, it's not that we don't want one, but.
Well, it's also like there's so many females out there. It's female politicians. And why haven't they been able to except like 2, hit that certain threshold? Mm-hmm. And when they do, they get so much more hate.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people ready to discredit you. And they will say it's not because of sexism, but
it is.
It is. So.
There's definitely different standards. Yeah. For women, just and women in power, I think too, like in politics, mm-hmm. I think about the debate between Hillary
mm-hmm.
Clinton and Donald Trump, like that it was like, I don't know. It's so clear and it's hard to, I feel like if you don't see it, there's something wrong with you. Like, like, you know how like women can only be they can't be too emotional or like there's like so many rules, and then I guess men can just be stupid. They can do anything. They can be
everything.
Yeah.
And like they're not really held under the microscope, but they're also not doing it to each other either. Like I think there's an inherent
give each other a pass.
I think there's an inherent like relationship men have with other men. That's like, oh, I'm going to support them.
And we don't have that with women?
I think we do on the surface, but then I do feel like all that competition comes into play. Or that's there's not a lot of room for all of us.
Yeah, but where does that come from though? Like, does it come from us or does it come from men? I don't know. We're unpacking some deep things.
It probably comes from men.
I feel like it would, because I feel like inherently, women would want to support other women.
Yeah, we're just not taught that all the time. Or, I think there's one thing of being taught or told something, and the other like seeing your surroundings and how people react, and
Yeah.
You can be told everything's equal and everything's the same and everyone, gets the same chances at success, or everyone, is equal, and then it's not based on,
or like a woman
context
can be
clues.
president, but it's like, well, it hasn't happened.
Yeah. That to say, like, I know we paint the 90s as like utopia.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mocking with Lilith Fair.
Oh.
Like, they called it Lesbo-palooza.
Lesbo-palooza. Honestly, though, if you had a festival called Lesbo-palooza, I would go.
That's the one. Chappell Roan,
Yes.
Billie Eilish, like, that actually would hit different now.
Wouldn't it?
Reclaim it. Maybe Lilith Fair doesn't need a revival. Lesbo-palooza does. But no, it doesn't. Because Lilith Fair is a lovely idea and an amazing, powerful idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's not based on a joke. Like, why do women feel like they have to make jokes to be welcomed in a mainstream space?
Yeah.
But in the 90s, we proved it was wrong because Lilith Fair was a success.
That's true. They sold out. Like, all shows were sold out.
They proved everyone wrong. That was like females. Like, I love the idea Sarah McLachlan was like, I want to have Paula Cole as my opener. They tell her, no, go back to the drawing board. And then she's like, how about I have Paula Cole and 20 other women, varying genres, different colors, different, sexual orientations. Let's put them all together.
Yeah. That was another thing too, though, right? Like, the genres, like it was very limited, like whatever genres females were singing in, or like the mixing of the genres in general, like country and rap, or like whatever, like pop, like it was all like separate and not all,
Well, even if you think about it now, like a Coachella lineup or a Lollapalooza lineup, if you split it down the middle, like by hairs, and you were like, which one's female, which one's male, it does lean male.
Yeah. See, I wish that Lilith Fair was like an annual thing that we just always had, and it makes me sad that, like, I get that Sarah McLachlan had a life to live, but
yeah, she got burnt out.
I kind of wish it kept going, because how cool would that be?
Definitely. But yeah, I just think it would have been very cool, but yeah, just the tides moved differently,
I guess.
But it's not too late to bring them back. There's so many, like all the artists we just talked about in our dream lineups. There's so
I feel like then, like, now is the perfect time.
So many. And like back to like the mockery of Lilith Fair. When I was a kid, I remember growing up in the 2000s, like hearing a lot of hate towards like artists like the Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge.
Because they were lesbians.
Yeah, especially the Indigo Girls. I feel like they were always like Lilith Fair and Indigo Girls were such a punchline. And for a long time, I didn't listen to the Indigo Girls.
Oh.
Because I had that like, oh no, if I listen to the Indigo Girls, then maybe I'm gay.
Yeah.
But that's far from the case. Right. I should have been listening to them sooner. That should have been in my teenage lineup, because if I listened to Closer to Fine, like lyric by lyric, like I did all of Fiona Apple's songs, like if I dissected Closer to Fine, just like I dissected Sullen Girl, I might have been a better person for it. But now I can.
But now you can.
Yeah.
That is weird, though, to have like that. Like, I mean, I feel like that's just a thing. Like,
yeah.
And
now, I mean, I hope. What I hope is like kids or not kids, like teenagers are like, oh my God, Chappell Roan. Or, oh my God, Muna,
Yeah. Yeah, Muna.
Like everyone can listen to every genre, which you totally can at any time. I just feel like growing up when we did.
And
like,
listening to a gay artist doesn't make you gay.
No, also.
And then what? So what if it does?
All those. Yeah, I know. True. Is that so bad?
Yeah.
But all of those people back in the day calling it Lesbo-palooza were also, when you hear Come to My Window, you turn that shit up.
You do. Oh my God. I love that song so much.
That's a perfect song.
Yeah.
Like there's hills and valleys in that song. It's a perfect pop song.
I know. Don't tempt me. I will sing it
to
my
window. But yeah, that like you don't have to be gay, or like Closer to Fine is not even about being gay.
No. Yeah, it's just weird that we like put people in boxes, or I don't know. Or just, I don't know. I think maybe because at the time, maybe just all these women doing something like just banding together and going against the grain. Maybe people just didn't like it. Just, they're like, this is too much, too revolutionary,
The
too gay.
conservative right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always saying
Overcorrected.
things are too gay.
Yeah. It's weird how things could be like that in the 90s. Like people would feel like free enough to like, you know, have that kind of festival, and then like, you know, like just an all-female festival, and then all these people show up, and then I don't know, we couldn't revive it.
I know, but you know, we really weren't ready.
We
Also,
weren't. Society, I don't think, was in a place.
No, like we were digging it. Like I forgot about blurred lines. I blurred that out.
Yeah,
but we just were so into that for so long. Or like, as much as I love them, the Seth Rogen comedies of the 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah.
Like all of the things in media was like, oh, this is like post-feminism. Females just are the cool girls. This is, again, we talk about Rosamund Pike's monologue in Gone Girl.
Yes.
Very often recently. It's the cool girl monologue. We were fed that for like all of our growing up.
Pretty much.
So it's like, it's no wonder that I'm like, oh yeah, Lilith Fair, that type of, those artists that were on Lilith Fair are so soothing to me. Like we were watching Wonder music video by Natalie Merchant,
Yes.
which one of my favorite songs since a childhood. Yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No.
I just thought of another person for the lineup.
Who?
Kate Bush.
Oh yeah, bring her. Is she in retirement?
I don't know. Bring her out of retirement
her
though.
out.
She needs to sing something at this Lilith Fair.
Oh, I'd love Florence and Florence Welsh.
Yes. Dang it. Why
Ooh,
did
to sing with Kate Bush.
at the same time? Oh my God. And Chappell Roan. All the redheaded
Bring 'em.
ladies.
Yes.
With those like
those
beautiful-
theatrics.
those theatrics. Yeah. Those like hauntingly beautiful voices.
I'm into it.
Yes.
That's perfect.
And the Indigo Girls. Throw them up there too. Just
No,
just
I
'cause.
still like. I feel like all of these ladies, Closer to Fine is the closer. Bring them all
Ooh.
together.
Yes. Every single lady though.
Every single lady. Why
Yeah.
not? If they can harmonize.
And all the single ladies.
all the single ladies and all the single ladies.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say is the Wonder music video has all these women, young and old, you know, different colors, different. You know, there was even like a child with Down syndrome, like every type of woman, like
Oh,
literally.
Yeah.
And like we talk about being like inclusive, like it's a new thing that we created, but like all the inclusive bangers from women in music in the 90s, including that song, like that video, but that was like not contrived. It's from the female gaze.
Yeah.
It's like not trying to sell you on anything.
They were paving the way.
Yeah. And it's also like not like, look at us doing something.
Yeah. It was just like genuine.
Profound.
Just
Yeah. Or like a Desiree, You Gotta Be. I'm sure that saved lives.
oh my God. Yeah, she was at Lilith Fair. I think I would have collapsed on the floor. Like if she sang You Gotta Be, like I think I would cry and then I would faint.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if she would come back.
What is Desiree doing
Yeah, I don't know.
nowadays?
She's alive, right?
She is.
She has to be. But that song has gotten me through so many times. I feel like that's another song like that I've just grown up with, like, and something about the way she sings it.
Like they meant it. That's
She's only
why it's
55.
so special. Oh, really?
Yeah, she can come back and sing, right?
Bring her back. But
Also
yeah.
iconic music video.
Also has that energy about it. Like all these women really do, like, to me, embody that like Lilith energy of like, oh, we're free and we're
Yeah.
doing things on our own terms, and come with me.
It's like this, come with me. Come to my window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's almost maternal, but it could be like older sister. It's just like communal, like a female experience. And I think that's the thing. Like growing up, I was always like there's always this connotation like, oh, too many females can't be together, or it's gay, or if you don't do one thing for the male gaze. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you experienced that at all, but I feel like I did. And I'm just like, that really robs females of their full potential, to think that they like are only sufficient if they meet certain quotas.
Yeah. But in what like scenarios?
I don't know, like creative projects. If there's too many women involved,
oh yeah,
then you're singling out the men, and like, in order for things to be really profitable, that's still a thing today. If you want things to be more profitable, they're like, oh, well, you have to not deliberately offend men, or like they have to be included somehow.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I also feel like, fuck that. I mean, we have so many resources now, and I feel like that Lilith Fair energy, like we should just always have that with us.
We should, but why don't we?
But why don't we? I don't know, but like, maybe it also depends on what you're doing too. Like there's certain industries, maybe it's still very male dominated, like the film industry, maybe. Like I think a lot of progress has been made, and I think there's so many talented females that can collaborate. I think it's just maybe, I don't know, maybe just sticking together and finding your people, and I don't know. Yeah, because with creative projects, just to your point earlier about like, you get to a certain level of success and then maybe you hit a wall. Like, I feel like there's probably things that we don't know until we experience it.
But it's easy to imagine.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there are certain artists now that are like, they just have that energy of like opening it up so that other people, like, you can share, or like, just because you have success, you can also build up another artist.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, not a sisterhood, quite like not necessarily a sisterhood, but this idea of like, there's enough to go around and like lift each other up.
Right.
But then, but that's not always the case with women either. Like, it's not just men. Like, it's the whole Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo thing.
I know. I think about that. I was just going to say, like, it makes me think like, well, right now I feel like Charlie XCX is doing a great job of just lifting up other women. Just kind of, she's so talented. Yeah, just artists.
Like the Dare he's blowing up now, and he's probably going to be the tipping point to the indie sleaze revival, like officially.
You think so?
And it's just because Charlie, I think so. We'll talk about this next week.
Ooh, okay.
Put a pin in that. But yeah, she's spreading this, not the wealth, but she's sharing all of her friends who she thinks is cool. Like, she's opening the doors for them, like, quite literally.
Yeah. And well, I know Lorde has her own success, but I just think it's cool that she had her come on. Like, they literally worked things out in the remix, which was cool. Like, that was only made in a couple of days, and it was worked out. Like, it was just like, they didn't have like a crazy beef or anything, but it was still, it's like nice that they worked out their issues and like acknowledged like the problems like that they both face, like just being females in the industry and, being pitted against one another, back to the Lilith Fair of it all.
Yeah. And I think there is something to be like, to your point, kind of what we were talking about with Taylor Swift, is like, I really do, I can't imagine what it's like for Taylor Swift, who, despite everything, I mean, she started out as a country singer. Mm-hmm. Like, she climbed her way to the top. So she is with every male counterpart. She's risen above them.
True.
I'm sure that, one, it's lonely at the top, but two, like, your viewpoint is literally, if you're thinking about a mountain, so different.
Yeah.
In a figurative way, but literally, like, it just might be different. You might not see it from that standpoint because you have so much to lose that everything inherently is a competition. Like, you can't watch someone potentially get bigger than you, which I think was ultimately the Olivia Rodrigo problem with Taylor Swift, if I'm speculating. Like, that's my opinion or thoughts.
It feels like you're losing something. Maybe once you've reached that level of like,
yeah, you can bring on the people that you feel like will be successful,
but not more
but
successful
not more
than
successful than you.
Mm.
In the moment there's that glimmer of that, you have to tear that down because you're gonna fall so far.
Yeah.
But when you're like a Charlie XCX who has ups and downs, like has never really reached that breakthrough yet and gone through 10 plus years of this industry and like seeing what it does to you, or even like a Lorde who's had her ups and downs, like it's so much easier to bring people in when you've got to experience what being a working artist is like. I mean, Taylor Swift's a working artist, but she has a machine.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Or like a Sarah McLachlan to start Lilith Fair, like she had massive success, but she still wasn't like regarded as like a Taylor Swift level.
Right.
So that's the prime time to come on in. Maybe Charlie XCX can do her own like semi Lilith Fair of where she curates all these people, you know?
Oh my God, I would love that.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I think so. Yeah. No, I think like, yeah, being at the top of the mountain, like it probably is a different perspective and you're like probably thinking about it a different way. Like you trying to, well, for one, probably is trying to stay on the top and not, I mean, you're probably removed from the people around you, probably. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, in order to stay there, you probably would have to be to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about Taylor. I'm trying to think of, like with empathy and not just, like judgment or,
Yeah.
Because I think she's a talented artist.
Oh, 100%. I think two things can be true.
Two things can be true. Yeah. Maybe it has something to do with the time, like where she rose to fame as well. Like maybe there was more competitiveness, And
who knows? To give Taylor Swift a benefit of the doubt, maybe she's a millennial, like through and through.
Yeah.
So more so than us, she's going to know about Lilith Fair and the women of the 90s. And I've seen those old videos of her singing to the 90s classics.
Yeah.
I'm sure that she loves these artists just as much, if not more than we do, that saw them as an inspiration. And throughout this journey, like she grew to popularity during this time of like the 2010s, the late 2000s, where that like it was okay to be misogynistic again. It was funny, and you just have to be like the cool girl and like,
yeah,
kind of play along with it. So I'm sure her mind is a little, it's just probably in a different place than us.
Probably in a different place. Yeah.
Probably in a different place than Charlie XCX's too, just different.
Yeah. Like she's not going to collab with anyone and have all the panties dropping.
No, she's going to collab with Gracie Abrams and
just going to play it a little safer.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so glad that Brat Summer's still going. People are trying to cancel it. I think that's hilarious because it's still going.
It is still going.
It's not stopping. Like, I wonder if she's going to drop anything. Like, if there's anything else up Charlie's sleeve.
Oh my God. When Guess dropped, I know you were out of town, so I
was
not
on
want
a
to bother
boat.
you.
I was on a ferry and I didn't have like great reception. And all I could do was look up the lyrics to the song.
Yeah, that doesn't like do it justice. You have to like.
It doesn't.
Just all of it.
Yeah. No, but when I listened to that song the first time, I was like, oh, well, I mean, I guess it was already a song. Like,
yeah.
But it hits different with Billie Eilish.
I mean, I audibly gasped when Billie's verse came on. Just to hear her. It was like I was, seeing them live. I was just like, oh, it's her, or the music video.
Oh my God. I love the music video when Billie comes in on the bulldozer.
That's my version of the Avengers. Just the two of them.
Oh my God. Yes. An Avengers movie, but it's Charlie, Billie Eilish. I don't know. We'll figure out the rest.
Yeah. Lorde's there. Well, have you
Lorde.
seen Charlie XCX's like birthday photos?
No. When was her birthday?
A couple days ago.
Oh.
But it's like her on stage with Lorde, The Dare, Rachel Sennett. I don't remember who else was there, but they're like all on stage and they're playing Girl So Confusing.
Ooh.
And just like vibing out.
I love that.
I like that energy. I think that's it too. I like this idea of not making everything the gratification of everything, but that idea of like people coming together in an authentic way.
Yes.
Is it kind of reminds me of like the Lilith Fair energy a little bit.
Definitely does. It definitely, it's like the closest thing we'll probably get. At least anytime soon, I think. You know, but I'd like to think sometime in our lifetime there'll be a Lilith Fair, like for real, you know.
I mean, Sarah McLachlan could do it. I know she could.
She could. I think she should try again.
Sheryl Crow was an important part of Lilith Fair.
Oh my God, how could I forget to mention Sheryl Crow?
I know. I love Sheryl. What's your favorite Sheryl Crow song?
That's a great question. Probably If It Makes You Happy always gets me. I went through a phase where I listened to this song almost every day for like a week. Like years ago. I was
so good.
Oh, so good. I mean, I know she has other songs, but I feel like that one for me really does it. The first cut is the deepest though. I don't know. She has some good ones. Soak Up the Sun.
It's good.
I'll tell everyone to lighten up, you know? Yeah. What's your favorite Sheryl Crow?
If It Makes You Happy is great. My favorite Mistake.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. That's another song that I will scream, sing at the top of my lungs.
Oh, that one's really good too.
Yeah, I think my favorite Mistake is my favorite Sheryl Crow. But you know what? Speaking of misogyny, you know, I was in Nashville once in an elevator. And in Nashville, I don't know if it's just my experience, but I feel like there's a lot of people, whether it's your Uber driver or a random person in the elevator, wanting to tell you about a celebrity they met and if they rate on the scale of nice or a jerk.
Oh, okay.
Now, in real-time misogyny, I heard in an elevator, unprecedented, I was just minding my own business, and then he says, you know, Sheryl Crow comes on here sometimes, and I've met Sheryl Crow. She gets things done. She's a very nice woman, and she can make things happen. However, she's not the brightest bulb in the bunch.
Not the brightest bulb in the bunch. What? Those are fighting words.
Also, what got me so much is this stranger, unprompted, just said she got the job done. And she was a nice person. And then to be like, she's stupid. It's like...
Yeah. Wait, what? So he like just said all these good, like, sounds like great character traits and then just cuts her down?
Cuts her down. Baseless.
But yeah, like what is what is the proof?
Yeah, or also like she got the job done, but she seems a little ditzy, but maybe she just seems bubbly. You know, I don't know. It's like it was interesting to me. I was just like, huh.
Just like that Colby Calais song. Maybe.
Yeah. She was at Lilith Fair 2010.
She was. I know, I saw that. I was like, what? I will say the 2010 lineup is not as good as the others, but
yeah, they're grasping for straws. I remember Selena Gomez pulled out of Lilith Fair.
That's wild. Were you going to go to this Lilith Fair, Nick?
No, I wasn't. To be honest, the lineup I wasn't like sold on anyways. So
right. And a lot of the bigger stars pulled out, I guess, because of the fund. Like the ticket sales weren't.
It just wasn't the right time.
It just wasn't. We weren't ready.
I do remember hearing about it on the news and being like bummed because like I've always want Lilith Fair to succeed.
Yeah.
Especially during that time. I was like a little teen. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Lilith Fair?
Probably low key needed it in a way, but it just didn't happen.
Selena Gomez and Colby Calais weren't gonna save us. Let's be honest.
Yeah, maybe. True. That's so wild to think of them back to back. Like just, that's funny. Like what would Selena Gomez be singing? Like,
you know, you are the thunder and I am the lightning. That song?
Yeah. Well, I don't even. Oh man. What about that other song she sings?
Tell me something I don't
know. Yeah, that's what she was singing at the time, right?
Yeah, 2010. Yeah.
Like she didn't even do Come and Get It yet, right?
No, she didn't even have a Love You Like a Love song out.
Yeah, because I feel like those are her best songs. But
Who says? That would have been perfect for a Lilith Fair 2010.
Oh, she did have a song called Naturally.
That's what you want the thunder and
No, that's what it is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Huh. I might go on a Selena Gomez rabbit hole later. Revisit. I'd like to, you know what? Actually,
not the point. But the festival, it actually established a couple careers.
ooh,
Like a good handful. So it helped establish the careers of Missy Elliott, Erykah Badu, Dido, Nelly Furtado,
whoa.
Christina Aguilera, Tegan and Sarah, and it brought the Dixie Chicks, now known as the Chicks, to the mainstream.
That's crazy. I mean, because I can't imagine a world without the, well, I guess they're just the Chicks, but
yeah,
like,
which they were huge in the late 90s.
huge. You couldn't escape them. Like, everywhere. They were everywhere. That one, oh gosh, what is that one song that they're known for?
Cowboy Take Me Away,
Yeah.
everywhere. A Good Girl, Goodbye Earl.
Goodbye, Earl. Oh, Landslide.
Landslide. They did a
They did a cover of Landslide. Yeah.
That was really successful, but
I don't know why my mind is like, nope, they just did Landslide.
but Wide Open Spaces and Cowboy Take Me Away are like their like definitive songs.
Yeah, that's right. Wide Open Spaces. That's the one I think I was looking for. Yeah.
But even the Dixie Chicks, I mean, they're super punk rock in my eyes. I mean, they, got so much hate back in the day. I mean, people were burning their records. And
why though?
so in 2003, right when the Iraq War started, the Dixie Chicks were in England touring off that really successful record with Landslide on it and Traveling Soldier. But Natalie Maine said to the crowd, like, we're ashamed that President Bush is from Texas.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And they got blacklisted by radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
People were literally burning their records, giving them death threats. And then they come out with Not Ready to Make Nice, which that bridge, you've heard that song, right?
I don't know that I have.
Okay.
I love this title though.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Listen to Not Ready to Make Nice. And when you get to that bridge, tell me that you don't, when you're about to well up and you have it like in your throat and it like burns.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about, they got, literally blacklisted. Like death threats. It stalled their career.
Right. I vaguely am. It's coming back to me. Yeah.
Just every name imaginable. And this is what they came out with. Which, speaking of pop girlies, to the credit of Pink, that album with like Stupid Girls, they do have a song with the Indigo Girls.
They do?
She does. Yeah.
What, she does? What?
And I used to love it as a kid. I was like, because that's on the same record as Who Knew?
I love Who Knew.
The best Pink song. Fight me on it.
No, I won't fight you because I agree. I heard that song the other day. I don't know. Like, Pink is another artist that I think, I don't know. I always love her. Her and her punk hair,
Yeah.
Something about her, she has like some kind of attitude,
She has a great spirit.
Yeah.
I think that's about the Lilith Fair women. Like Sarah McLachlan curated a lineup of women in all these genres that have a spirit about them. Like Fiona Apple, even though she's, has all these piano songs, so like sullen and like poet, kind of like downer vibes.
Yeah.
But she's a strong-willed person.
She is.
Like, she's vulnerable, but her strength is in her vulnerability. Or like someone like Erykah Badu, who I'm a massive fan of. I don't feel qualified to speak about Erykah Badu, but just someone that has this clear vision. Willow Smith got to be in the dream lineup.
She should. Yeah. I forgot about Willow Smith, to be honest.
Until I started talking about Erykah Badu, who had the best Lilith Fair fashion.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. The fashion.
Oh, all my point was all of these women from all of these genres of music are the just have an intense spirit about them.
They do.
All have good vibes.
Do you think if there was like a Lilith Fair today, what about Halsey?
Yeah.
Do you think she would have that spirit?
I think so. I think she does have that spirit.
Yeah. Have you heard her new song, Lucky?
Yeah.
Or have you seen the video?
I've only seen clips of the video.
Gotcha. I like it though, because it's like her and her younger self. And obviously she's like taking inspo from Britney. But
interpolation.
Yeah, that interpolation, which I love.
That Britney Spears, she wrote that she was going to sue her.
Oh, really?
She like approved it and then was like, I'm going to sue Halsey. And then was like, I'm sorry, I take it back.
Oh,
it was
Britney.
a wild ride.
It's always a wild ride.
No, I think Halsey does have that spirit.
I feel like she does, yeah.
Yeah.
I would add her to the list.
I would too. There's so many female artists that I feel like maybe we do need Lilith Fair to be revived, because there are all these female artists that I feel like they're massive, but they don't have they are only chosen selectively to be in a lineup, to be at the Coachella, to be at the Lollapalooza, the Governor's Ball. If they could just all be successful like they are on just people would come in droves.
Yes, I would take my money.
Same.
Like, I feel like I'm like hesitant to pay like a lot of money for certain concerts, but like for that, I would splurge.
Yes. And I feel like, yeah, we've really gone back in time from the late 90s, like oddly enough. Like, we think we're so progressive, but like, when has there been a female lineup like that since?
I don't know. I know I read like on Reddit, there was like, let me see if I still have this up. Because someone else was saying, like, bring back Lilith Fair. This was like a year ago. Someone was like, I miss the sense of community. I guess this is someone who actually attended a Lilith Fair concert. She's like, I'm 53 now, so I'm showing my age, but I would love to like go to a concert like this where I felt like the sense of community, just a summer tour of female artists celebrating each other's gifts and being each other's creative muses. Indigo Girls, Brandi Carlile would be on my wish list. I would even see like Pink and Miley Cyrus if they'd want to participate. Who would you want to put? And then someone said there was something called All Things Go. Oh wait, and this might be the closest thing. There actually is one in September. It looks like there's one in DC and New York City. I don't know if it's all female though. There's one with Renee Rapp, Muna, Chappell Roan, Holly Humberstone? I don't know who that is. Delwater Gap, Soccer Mommy, Coco and Claire, Toa Bird, Janelle Monáe, Ethel Cain, Julian Baker, Maisie Peters, Indigo De Souza, and Annie DeRusso. So
nice.
Yeah. And this one they were saying they had like Lana Del Rey, Boy Genius, Maggie Rogers, Carly Rae
Maggie
Jepsen.
Rogers would be a good addition.
Yeah. Oh, there's Bia B-Do-B.
Oh, yeah.
You know that band.
Yeah.
You showed me them.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah. Is that how you say her name?
B-B-Do-B.
B-B-Do-B. Oh, maybe it's a lot easier to say. Maybe it's because the B.
There's
it's
a
like
lot of
B-E-A.
B's and lots of D's.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get that. And that's awesome. And that's rad. I do feel like the only thing is Lilith Fair in its conception, like Sarah McLachlan and co. had a distinct vision.
Yes.
They were like, we want this to be all female. We want everyone to just collaborate, to shine. You know, it was a lot of stick it to the man.
Yeah.
But like in a way of like, we're going to be successful on our own and go off and do our own path. We're going to be the Liliths to our, the Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Go on our own road, and kind of punchline they became. And for Sarah McLachlan to even lean into it, like she was on SNL back in 1997, kind of on Weekend Update with Norm Macdonald making fun of it. Like she was able to understand the punchline, but still be like, you can call us what you want, but we're all female.
Yeah.
We're doing this despite everything. We're the Lilith Fair. And we're going to be called the Lilith Fair.
Right. It was more intentional. This is like, yeah, that's nice. But it's not going to be the same energy. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it'd probably be an amazing like tour to go to or whatever. But yeah, that whole concept is kind of lost because it's not the same. It's, yeah.
Like, no hiding it. No, because, you know, when you brought that up, that Reddit post to me, my initial reaction was, oh, in order to make a Lilith Fair type of thing work, you'll have to call it something else to make it seem, you know, more palatable.
I know, but see, I think...
But fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. We need Lilith Fair. Straight up Lilith Fair. Just...
You know, I think I am going to read Women Who Run with Wolves.
Good.
Like I've seen like a lot of people a lot of women on TikTok be like, oh, it's 25. I'm 25 years old. Time to read this book.
Huh.
And I wonder if this could be a wave. Maybe I'm just being overly optimistic.
A new wave of feminism? Or
just of the cycles turning, of realizing like, oh, you know, females have a lot of power. We don't need men in the equation at all. Like Cher said that they're like nice.
Yeah.
They're a nice accessory. They're, you know, but I really do think that like if we as women could not even include men in the conversation sometimes, or just not have them as the focal point, but just run with our own path and go with our heart's desires before thinking about certain like men and those kind of implications, like we'd be unstoppable. And that's why we're always pushed up against and told not to do that. Because we could be
trying
like,
to stop us.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I think women are powerful, especially, when you come together. Like, yeah, don't underestimate.
Why are they so afraid of it? Why is it such a knee-jerk reaction?
I don't know. I'm with you, though, Nick. I mean...
I don't know. I mean, Sarah McLachlan did say it was just the right time, the right place, the right people, the right intentions. And, you know, to your point, there in this oral history, they talked to this Long Island mom who was an attendant. And she said the best way to describe Lilith Fair is it's like a girl's bathroom in a bar at like 1 a.m, where every girl you encounter in the bathroom is your best friend.
I love that. That sounds perfect. That's like, maybe that's why the Barbie movie also was so successful a bit, because it's like a utopia of sorts where like women are in control, you know, and men are just like whatever.
Which Barbie's favorite song is Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls.
See? Yeah.
Which, have you listened to those lyrics? Have you gone through a phase in life when you've listened to Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls?
I've only really listened to it in the Barbie movie. I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
But yeah, the song is about, you know, the more she sought out answers to the questions, the more she was confused.
Like the more questions she had.
Yeah, the more questions she had. That's perfect.
Yeah. I totally could see that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
And like, to me, I interpret that song as like when you look for external validation or you seek only your advice from external sources, you're just going to be more confused. And you really do have to like seek some of that wisdom and guidance from within.
From within. That makes sense.
Which we don't talk a lot about in songs.
But I guess she does. I mean, she says, so the less I seek my source, closer I am to find. Is that basically like the less she's seeking out, like you just said, like the external kind of.
Or like the life just is, the more you can let things enter.
Yeah. You think you just fell out of coconut tree?
Yeah. You exist in the context.
I don't know. I can't help but think of that.
It kind of was what Kamala Harris's mom was talking about.
Yeah. I just feel like that quote, there's some wisdom within that. I don't know. It's so unique too. And I love the 360 remix of it. Coconut. Anyway, you're listening to Closer to Fine, and I'm like,
I mean, I can listen to both.
Yeah,
I'm into both. So, any Lilith Fair style moments that you gravitated towards?
I really liked Sean Colvin's like the tiny sunglasses and funky hat. You know, like that backwards, like it looks almost like a newsboy kind of cap, but like backwards, which I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Can I be honest about Sean Calvin?
Yeah.
I did not realize that was a real person.
Like
my whole entire life, pretty much, I've had Sunny Came Home in my head. Like, it will pop in my head. And I thought it was just a song that, like, my, like, young, like, baby brain made up with. It was like an amalgamation of all these, like, 90s songs.
Oh.
I just made up Sunny Came Home in my head. But apparently it's by Grammy-nominated Sean Calvin. Like, or winning. I don't know. But yeah, that's a real song. I thought I made it up for
you're taking
years.
credit?
No, but I don't know. I couldn't pin it because it wasn't
Yeah.
by like an Alanis or a Natalie Merchant, you know?
I know what you mean. I mean, honestly, I had not heard of Sean Is it Calvin? I don't know.
But you've heard Sunny Came Home, right? You had to have. You know what? I thought it was Paula Cole pretty much my whole life.
Hold on. Let me just play a snippet. It sounds very bardcore.
You've heard this song before. And I know you've heard it before because we've had this conversation before.
No way.
Yes.
Have we?
But it was reversed.
It was reversed?
Yes.
What, I said this to you?
Yes. You said, this was a song. You'll know it when the chorus hits.
I see what you mean about sounding like just vaguely 90s, like
A little Lisa Loeb.
Lisa Loeb, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I know you know this song.
It's a real song. You're right. Yeah, that's funny though that we've had the same experience reverse. Because was that your reaction too, just to start singing?
Yeah, but I think I thought it was just either a song I made up with an amalgamation, or I thought it was Paula Cole.
Oh, okay.
Because it does sound just like Paula Cole, especially like, I don't want to wait
for our lives to be over. Well, I was just thinking, is Sunny Came Home in a movie?
I don't know.
Because I know that Paula Cole song is in
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, Dawson's Creek.
I say like I've seen an episode of that. I have not, but
it's just the intro.
Just the intro, like literally.
So powerful though. I feel like it's gotta be in a movie somewhere.
Or like
something.
A trailer, like a movie trailer.
Yeah.
Or something. Probably on the WB until like 2007 it played, like
that's how, yeah,
to intro the Gilmore Girls or something, you know?
For sure. Oh my God. I heard Where You Lead today. Love it.
Carole King.
Carole King. Yeah. Carole King, she's alive. She's still singing, right?
Isn't she?
I think she has a TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if she would come back for a Lilith Fair.
I feel like she seems down. Her or like a Carly Simon.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm thinking of Carly Simon. Carly Simon has a TikTok.
Wow. Iconic.
Yeah.
Legend.
Very much so. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, you know what is so crazy? Like to watch that behind the music and to watch like a Pat Benatar be like, I've waited 20 years for this.
For the
something like the Lilith
Lilith
Fair to
Fair.
happen.
That is crazy. Yeah, because I think of Pat Benatar being like really successful and
Or like a Chrissy Hynde from the Pretenders. Just all in on Lilith Fair. Love to see it. What's your who are some of your top favorite like Lilith Fair type of artists?
I would say the Cranberries, Lisa Loeb, Natalie Merchant, obviously. What about Natalie Imbruglia?
Yeah.
Right?
I think when I think of Lilith Fair type of music, if you just say Lilith Fair, what comes to my mind is Paula Cole, that type of music. If you sound adjacent to I Don't Want to Wait, you're Lilith Fair to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you sound like Sunny Came Home or any Natalie Merchant song, you Lilith Fair. But Natalie Imbruglia is also that like it just fits into that pocket well.
Right.
Like Natalie Imbruglia is such an interesting artist because it does remind me of that Lilith Fair, but then it's also reminds me of just like late 90s pop, like Robin.
Yeah.
Or someone, you know?
Yeah.
Like that song Torn just you know,
tears me up.
It's one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite music videos of all time.
It's a really good video.
Like Natalie Imbruglia, gorgeous. Gorgeous lady. Best haircut.
Best haircut. We love her.
Hands down the best haircut.
Oh, that's another thing. I feel like Lilith Fair ladies have cool haircuts.
really cool.
Yeah.
Like cool style.
Cool style. That's right. Yeah. We were talking about outfit, like the favorite looks.
Well, like Liz Fair in 1999, Lilith Fair, she has on the outfit that I would wear, and I'm sure any lady on the streets would wear today. She has like a long dress on and these funky, they kind of look like those like Nike sandals that are out now.
Yeah.
But just like, it's hard because we don't have pictures, but yeah, Liz Fair just is like icon of fashion for Lilith Fair for me. Also Erykah Badu. Oh my God, that green jacket.
Yes. And her like green like turban, is it? Like to match the jacket? But it's like it's so high. Like it's so tall.
Those like 1998 like sunglasses with the yellow tint.
I love those sunglasses. The whole vibe. And she has like a long blue skirt.
Erykah Badu, I can't get around that woman.
Yeah.
Despite what my Spotify says, I feel like she could convince me to do anything.
Is she holding a walking stick?
Or is it like a spiritual stick?
Yeah. I want to know. I feel like there's got to be something to that.
I just love Erykah Badu in general. Like, I love every album of hers. And I sincerely mean that. Like, even the weirder ones. But yeah, I love that. Oh, Lauryn Hill. Like during peak Miseducation of Lauryn Hill times was performing at Lilith Fair.
Oh, shoot. I love Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Who was I? It was just on the tip of my tongue where I was like, we didn't even talk about her. And she is Lilith Fair to me.
Meredith Brooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's Lilith Fair to me. I really only know that one song. But I don't know. Bitch by Meredith Brooks is one of my favorite songs of all time.
I feel like that encompasses the like Lilith Fair like energy. Yeah. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. I'm a child. I'm a mother. I'm a sinner. I'm a saint. It's like everything.
Yeah. And just when you got
every
me
woman
figured out, the season's already changing.
Yes. That's right. That's what it is to be.
Yeah. Don't try to change me.
Yeah.
Don't try to shape me. She has duality. Like that song, I know it's just a silly pop song, but like You Gotta Be, I feel like that flavor of pop song we don't get nowadays where it's like you're singing to my soul.
Yeah, there's like a deeper meaning. It's not just, maybe that's what, okay, because didn't Natalie Merchant say when she tried to get Lilith Fair back like in 2010, didn't she say something like, I think like, yeah, there might be some more opportunities for women, but I don't think the consciousness is there. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot more like female artists in these categories and stuff, but like the songs they're singing are not, my interpretation was like that the consciousness, like maybe what they're singing is not that deep, you know?
100%. Now, all these women who, mind you, top 40, all the Jewels, all the Fiona Apples, all the Liz Fairs, all the Sarah McLachlans, they all jumped at the chance. Tracy Chapman, they all were like, we got to do it. Because the consciousness was there.
Yeah. And it was a collective consciousness.
Yeah. And you had these women like Natalie Merchant would go on stage and like twirl around and like lighten the mood. Like Natalie Merchant was kind of like the Meryl Streep of Lilith Fair in the way that Meryl Streep, in order to connect with her co-star, always seems like, you know, for Mamma Mia, to get Amanda Seyfried in, you know, she was like, I'm a big fan of you. I watch Mean Girls in my home. Or like, to be with Anne Hathaway in The Devil Wears Prada, she had to be like, I'm going to say one nice thing to you. And then for the rest of filming, I'm not going to talk to you. You know, to set that tone.
She sets the tone. Natalie Merchant sets the tone.
She broke the ice.
Yeah. With all her twirling.
Yeah. And also the elder statesman. Like she created whatever music you associate with Lilith Fair, I think.
I love Natalie Merchant.
Great. I think she's the Meryl Streep of Lilith Fair. I said it.
The Meryl Streep. I love that. Yeah. Like, is there anyone else?
Have you done a deep dive on Fiona Apple?
Not yet. No, but I know one day we were talking about maybe just doing an episode on her.
I really think you'd really vibe with Fiona Apple.
Yeah. I mean, so far I have. I feel like I've listened to her in passing, And I don't know. I feel like I know of her,
Mm-hmm.
but I just haven't fully gone. I don't know why exactly.
But I think you could relate to her.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like on a deeper level, I might connect with Fiona.
Yeah. Not just the music. I would be like, oh, look at like her interviews, especially from around that time.
I do remember seeing some interviews. Oh, what was it? Oh, is it when she gets like a Grammy and she's like, this doesn't even matter? Was it a
was a
Grammy?
VMA and she said the world is bullshit.
Yeah. That really spoke to me.
Yeah. I love when she's being interviewed. It's going around TikTok right now, which I love though, because anytime to talk about Fiona Apple, I'm game. But she's like, I'm not shy. I just won't talk if I don't have anything to say.
Oh, yeah. That's a vibe.
But she's always been very like open and honest. And
Is that what you appreciate most about her? Just like her honesty, like she just doesn't try to be someone she's not.
well, she's a poet. She's very talented, like first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like I think she's a lyrical genius. You know, as much as I'm like, oh, you know, all these pop songs that are really inspirational. I think Fiona Apple's like a different side of that Lilith Fair coin. You know?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like harder to get into like all of Fiona Apple's music just because it's like
Some of it's a little
rather dark.
Yeah, I think that's what it is a little bit. I mean, not that would stop me because, you know, I've got into some dark music before. And I'm sure hers can only be so dark. And
Yeah, I mean, she's been through life. But just the way her mind works, I'm very much into it. I mean, I've always been into it. She's someone that hasn't really shied away from like the dark parts of herself.
I love that.
So, also, have you ever gone through a Jewel phase?
Well, I sort of.
Maybe you couldn't get into Fiona Apple. Maybe you're not that dark. But I'm sure I have a feeling you and Jewel have had a relationship, a working relationship.
We
together.
do. We have a working relationship, Jewel and I. I mean, Who Will Save Your Soul? I think is such a good song.
Did you listen to Hands a lot as a youth?
Is that the one that's like, they're not yours, they are my own? Yeah, I actually, yeah. How did you know?
I feel that in my soul more than anything.
Yeah, no, that song like always spoke to me. I don't know why. Maybe because she's like, yeah, they're my own. I mean, I don't know exactly. I feel like I haven't really looked at those lyrics in a long time, but it meant something to me.
Brie, if I'm in a specific mood, even now, I will listen to that album with Hands on it, front to back. Like as a child, my mom had that CD and I would be like, play it. Like all the time. I know that album front to back.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, when you listen to songs as a kid and you just remember all the words.
Yeah, definitely.
I still probably know that album with Hands on it, like front to back. And sometimes I'll drive and like just blast it and sing along to every
Listen to
word.
some Jewel.
Yeah.
I love this.
Specifically that album.
We should have our own like Lilith Fair playlist of sorts because yeah, I think that's needed.
So you went through a Jewel phase as well?
Yeah, Intuition. Yeah, Hands. Who Will Save Your Soul.
You Were Meant for Me. Get you feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Foolish Games. Just listing Jewel songs now.
I know. There's a song called I'm Sensitive. I feel like I am sensitive.
So you'll probably like that.
I'll probably like that one. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot, like, I feel like I vibe with a lot of, like, the artists in the Lilith Fair lineup, but, like, I feel like I'm mostly familiar with their most popular songs, which is maybe a travesty, you know? Because they're, like, fully fledged artists.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I may need to deep dive a little deeper to really put myself in the 90s state of mind.
I mean, it's always better to be in the 90s state of mind if you ask me.
Yeah.
But no, all this music is so good. It makes me feel stuff. I don't know if it is just like nostalgia or like not even nostalgia, like
Maybe it's what they're singing about too.
Yeah.
Like being like the experience of being a woman possibly or
yeah.
giving advice. Like there's something like these like Gotta Be, for example, is like to me when I listen to that song, it almost sounds like she's singing to herself, but also to you, of course. You know, she says all these things. She's like, read the books your father read. but it's like, if you're saying things like that, you must be speaking to yourself too, right? Like maybe your younger self, or like there's like some connection there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. And even back to Closer to Fine, she's saying, I went to the doctor. She's talking about how she's sought out this stuff.
Yeah.
And gotten anything back. And me as a listener is like, oh, I've done that too. And I don't know. Like they don't know. I don't know. And I can relate to the song, and it's not. It's talking about something that is actually useful to me in life. And it's not, as much as I love like Espresso, which I get, it's a different song. The Indigo Girls and Sabrina Carpenter are not
way different
alike.
Yeah. Is that why you gave me that look when I said Sabrina Carpenter? You're like, yeah, but she's just thinking about Espresso.
Yeah. Like she's, I think those nonsense outros, as fun as they are a little, I don't know if she makes the like Lilith Fair cut.
Yeah, that's
just
fair.
Yeah. Like you can't have like a all woman music festival and then she's like talking about like a euphemism for dick.
Damn. So Miss Poopy's a no-go.
No, I think no, because I think the way she says it, or at least the way like maybe not Ice Spice, but I think a Megan Thee Stallion would be perfect at a Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
Because she really is a woman that practices what she preaches. And she
That's
also
true.
talks about doing hot girl shit.
She stands for something.
She does. She's a fully like fledged person.
And she did get shot in the foot.
She did.
I'm tired of people gaslighting her.
Yes.
Like that's so messed up.
It's so infuriating. That's another litmus test if I know you're trash. If you are like, Chris Brown didn't beat Rihanna,
yeah,
I say get out of here. If you say Megan Thee Stallion didn't get shot in the foot, get out of town.
Yeah.
Beat it, bozo.
Right. Period. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that a thing too? Like why Rihanna didn't, like there's something around, I don't know. So there's something in that article about the 2010s that's it made me so mad to read about, because they talked about Chris Brown, and it just, maybe that was it too. Like just misogyny at the time, just
it seemed
right in front of our eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. We were just cool with it. I don't know.
I do remember being a kid and being not made fun of, but I got picked on not a lot, just by like a couple people. I say that like I like was bullied. I was not bullied. But I remember being that kid in class being like, wait a second, isn't that like misogynistic?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't cool to be a feminist quite yet.
No.
Like late, like middle school days, like sixth graders typically aren't like raging feminists, but I was.
Were.
Yeah, you were, but like maybe it's just where we grew up.
It might be where we grew up. I was thinking that too.
I remember us in classes being the only people that were like in our mock elections, like voting Democrat.
We were singled out.
We were singled out. But I like continued that. Because I would be the first to be like, wait a second, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I remember like I would refuse to listen to Chris Brown after that incident.
Same.
I was like, okay, not anymore. No.
I still won't listen to Chris Brown.
I still won't either. I have not let it go.
Same. I don't think. Also, he's someone that's like continued to do terrible, god awful things.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's very infuriating.
Yeah. But what was my even point? Like I remember like even getting called a lesbian, like as like a diss.
You were telling me, yeah.
Just because I would point out like, because I remember, back in the day in school, like remember 303?
Yeah.
Okay. Bops.
Yeah.
I understand. I also think bops. But I remember being very like, it like pinging something in my heart, like in middle school or whatever, being like, wait a second. Like, don't trust me bothered me.
Because it says don't trust a hoe?
Well, I just think the whole song, and then like they talk about Helen Keller with your hips and like shut your lips.
Oh, yeah, that part.
But just like,
yeah, that part made me a little like a visceral like ick.
But I remember being like, oh, ladies, we probably shouldn't. Like, this is terrible. Like, why are we giving? Like,
I'm like,
why
let's
are
not
we
take this literally. Let's not take this. Yeah, I remember being like, oh, this is such a bop, and then being like, wait, to the Helen Keller, and I was like, oh, wait, huh? Well, first off, that's insulting Helen Keller. You know,
Well,
she's never gonna hear that song, but that's a little that's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, it like layers on a couple shitty things upon one another.
Yeah.
But their tone is inherently misogynistic, I personally think.
Definitely.
Just overtones.
Yeah.
But I even remember in school getting like, yeah, I know Soldier Boy's a bop, but like crank that.
Yeah.
However,
the meaning behind
that song is a little messed up. And also this boy is like 16 or something.
Yeah.
Like, even as a kid, I was like, that kind of sends a weird message.
You know, the only good, I think it's because the drums hit so hard on that song. If it wasn't for the Hawaiian drum, I don't think that song would like, no, because think of it, it's just that do, 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 do. You know, it just has that strong start. And
you think that was it?
It's the Hawaiian. Yeah, definitely. If it was not there, I don't know, the song would just be like, okay. It wouldn't, yeah. It would, it's just the guy going, you isn't going to be like catchy enough. It's the Hawaiian drum.
Maybe you're on to something.
I am on to something. I know it is.
15 years or 16 years later, you know? But I don't know.
I hear what you're saying though. Like music at that time, like there was, yeah.
Or even being a teenager when I first got into Lilith Fair type of music, hardcore, when I was belting Building a Mystery, Marnie Michael style for everyone to hear. Blurred Lines, to your point. Also, it was Spring Breakers time.
Spring Breakers.
When we were teens, Spring Breakers was really popular, and no one understood Spring Breakers like we do now. Like, yeah, I really don't think that we took it that way. Like, even 2012, like, tides were a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, they hadn't turned yet.
I don't think so.
I don't even know if they've... I think they're starting to turn.
I think they're starting to turn.
Thank God
after
for
a long
Chappell
time.
Roan.
Yeah.
Have you seen, I think it was Lollapalooza, but whatever the recent Chappell Roan festival gig she went on?
No, I have it saved. Like, is it the one where she has like that kind of crazy looking makeup? Like, that's like...
she kind of looks like Nacho Libre mixed
yes.
with a superhero.
Yes.
Doesn't disappoint.
Really? I'm not surprised.
So good.
I want to see her so bad. Like, I want to go to a Chappell Roan concert.
No, they're all sold out. I have seen that like on the go. Like I was like, ooh, it's coming to DC. Like, let's go. But
one day
it'll happen. See Chappell Roan.
We will. We're gonna manifest.
I love how we didn't circle back on the pod, but remember we were trying to get Chappell Roan tickets?
Yeah.
Like a couple months ago.
And they were sold.
They were sold out. Like we weren't even late to the party on Chappell Roan.
No. We were like almost at the party. We were like adjacent to the party.
Or we saw the party a mile away and we were like, well, just gotta walk over there. And by the time we walked over there, they were like, you're gonna be right on time for this party.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're like right on time for Chappell Roan, but we're like too late to just be like, we saw Chappell Roan before
she was cool. Yeah, almost, I see what you're saying. Yeah, before we did have a chance. It was like literally right before she blew up.
Yes.
But
still, I mean, she had such a cult following. And you know, in the recesses of my mind, like in 2020, 2021, I do remember hearing about a song called Pink Pony Club.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I just inquired a little more?
And we could have seen her.
Because Pink Pony Club is like 2024's You Gotta Be.
Yeah, we'll see Chappell Roan. I feel it.
Yeah.
In my bones. Yeah.
When she headlines with Sarah McLachlan
at the Lilith Fair.
The new Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
In our hopes and dreams.
Let's all just manifest together. The Lionsgate is open.
That's where the Lionsgate portal comes in clutch.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for listening.
And we will see you next week. Bye. Late to the Party is hosted by Nikki Jensen and Brie Piccone. Our podcast is produced by Grace Dunbar and edited by Brie.
That's me. Thanks for listening. Make sure to rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next week. Bye.